wow, this video thing is pretty difficult. You wake up, and you're like, I'm gonna shoot all this stuff. And then you're like, wait, I got this camera and all these different cameras and pieces and parts, and I'm gonna shoot a time lapse in the morning, and I'm gonna record my workout. And I did that this morning and failed miserably at one of the time lapses, and turned my cameras on in the weight room, and that was all awkward because I'm like, how do I work out? Yet I've got different angles. How do I make it interesting for you to watch? My cat is like in my way, and it's like, oh, do I put that in the video or not? And I'm driving to work. I'm like, maybe I give people a sense of what my commute looks like. And then I'm like, okay, what I'll do is I'll go into my cafe that I go to every morning where I get my breakfast from these women and maybe talk to them a little bit. And I did. And I got this whole footage of me walking into the office, and of course the sound wasn't on. In fact, I even had some voiceover going as I walked. This is my office, this is what I do. Not that it was that interesting, but the fact that the microphone wasn't on is really annoying. And it just, it just goes to show how difficult this stuff can be, and that's probably why I'll stick with it, because it's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to live life and create a movie and get better at, crafting these stories. And I find that really fascinating, and I guess part of the creative process that will drive me to keep trying this, and I don't know, maybe. It reminds me of a story when I was at an award show overseas, and I was sitting with my manager, and everyone that was there for a reason, whether it be to meet with a big client or because we were winning an award. In this case, it was an award. And as we celebrated, he looked at us and he said, I realize that this isn't the life, this isn't what drives you guys forward and where all the creativity happens. I realize it's in a basement in New Jersey when the real work was put in and the difficulty that you had with this assignment. And thank you for that advice, Mark Darcy. If you ever watch this, probably won't. But if you do, I've taken that to heart, and it's something while developing a software company or a creative idea or a painting or a video like this, it's like, okay, why am I doing this? It's really difficult. It's kind of a pain in the butt. No one's ever gonna see it. And if they do, is it gonna be worth it? But in the end, anything that's worth the battle is worth the difficulty. And that's why I love difficulty. Again, as a creative person, as a business person, with all the different things I've worked on, I've sat in my basement many times during the development of my software. I had a full-time job already, and I'd sit down in my own basement and come up with wireframes and send them to people that were developing the software, and the same questions would come back, and I'm like, no, do it like this, or here's what I'm thinking, and doing the wireframes over and over and over again, and then the software didn't work, and then it's like, okay, let me spend the next 4 hours saying why it's not working, and instead of creating new things, it's going backwards. It's like, okay, here are all the things that should have happened and didn't, and blah, 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 blah. Again, difficult, but that's what it's all about. Again, I wouldn't want a job that's easy. Anything in my life that was too easy at any given point, I actually tried to get away from it and move on to the next thing and strive to be better. There's this certain danger in comfort. And I think this process has been really difficult for me. So I always think about that stuff. People say congrats for raising money, or congrats on winning a big account, or a client say congratulations on what you've built. It makes me feel better in that moment that that's happening, because I know what it took to get there. And so again, who knows if this video series will go anywhere, or how many I'll make. Actually, I do know how many I'll make at least 20 of them. No promises after that. But it's a goal I set for myself. It's a creative challenge, and I hope to accomplish it. Enjoy this pieced together weird vlog thing that I made today with failed time lapses. I think there's a pretty good time lapse in there. I'll put that here. I hope you give some consideration into all the things that you love and what it took to get there and what it's taking now and what it's going to take to where the next thing is. And it's something that drives me, and I can only wish that upon other people 10 times over, because it's so much more rewarding. Anyway, more drone footage.